Okay, point of view. Do you know that running and growing a business is the simpler way to make money, although not necessarily the easiest? Let me explain. Hi, I'm Samaya. I'm a psychic alignment coach for spiritual women in business. I help women particularly connect with their true inner being and pull the energy and essence of their inner being in the way they run and grow a business so they can really come into alignment, bring their business into alignment, and the way they show up in their lives as well, the relationships and every other aspect. So welcome. It's really lovely to share this video with you. A lot of people will be deterred upon stepping into running businesses. People will say how hard it is, and it's true. It can be hard, I guess, if you want to use that word, but it's a lot simpler. There's hard that is simple and there's hard that is easier. And I'll explain why this is kind of a lot simpler, this level of harness. And I'm going to say a few words before I go and explain each and every one of them. Okay, so we're talking about the subjects of freedom, sovereignty, meaning, purpose, self-growth, connection. Those are the 4 points. Let me elaborate. Running your own business is essentially the model of true freedom. I've been very lucky and blessed to work for about 14 years with vulnerable people with complex needs in a variety of settings in the NHS, psychiatric services, mental health in the community and charities, domestic violence, learning disabilities, and that's it. Human and women's rights. Okay, so I worked in those areas. When I worked in the community, and even when I worked as part of the NHS, you work as part of multidisciplinary teams and stakeholders that all are part of a very, very complicated sort of infrastructure of a system in our community, more locally and nationally, that is so complex, everyone bringing different agendas, that when it comes down to you doing your job, working with the people and giving them the best results that you can, you see how broken the system is, or at least I did. And I felt so disillusioned and so let down by not being able to see the results that I would hope to see in people getting better or getting the support that they needed, particularly when it came to kind of preventative work and sort of integration work, following treatments and support that they received, seeing so many people being forgotten by the system, so much, right? So when I moved into running a business, it wasn't because I wanted to run a business. I just wanted to use skills to help people that were going to be benefited, that were maybe we were not seeing in the mainstream and in conventional sort of facilities and sort of places, right? And what I found was, though, that really running a business was a way to do it. Because how am I going to share my skills, earn a living, and really be able to support others if I'm not able to really be compensated for that, right? So that's where the whole aspect of freedom became very important. So in that respect, that deep desire and frustration of mine was really going to be kind of, I was doing something with this, right? As opposed to having to compromise and stay in a broken system that I just wasn't even, not just taking care of my needs as a worker in the places I worked in, but also seeing the people thriving through the support that they were receiving. I was not seeing that, you know, even though a lot of really good work was taking place, the limitations were just like staring us too much. It was like a slap in the face, you know. So then for me, running a business became the model of freedom. And that the why and where I was frustrated, which is where I've expressed now, was so deep enough to make the process a lot simpler, wanting to move forward in the way I moved forward in running a business. And at the same time, it's this very same thing that became a model of true sovereignty. It really forced me to step into my own sovereignty as a human being, as a being that handles finances, as somebody who I needed to get my shit together. I needed to learn to upskill and up level, and I needed to work on my own mindset. I needed to work on my own resistances, self-sabotages, and that was really the way forward for me to become a sovereign being, so that not only I have to work within teams that often were fantastic, but other times just did not feel supportive enough, especially when you work in mental health. The system is just so overburdened that, nobody can really get efficient support. You know what's going on, and you hear the conversations in the news, right? There was a step into sovereignty, and there was really, I do believe that New Earth is a lot more about being sovereign. Not necessarily, I mean, we need community, and we need to have those kind of like those people working in the services, right? But still within that, we need to have a level of sovereignty that really kind of is honored. And I think a lot more people will be increasingly getting frustrated and leaving those environments because something is not quite working out, right? Or being honored. As I said, it's also, we talked about connection being another point. Running a business, like a lot of people talking about making money through all these different ways. And I'm sure, why not, have multiple sources of income, do stuff. I have multiple sources of income, not multiple, but a couple of other sources of income through other businesses. But they are kind of like, they're not meaningful, but they're very easy, and they're maintainable, and they don't take much time, right? So if you can have some passive income, by all means. But nobody really can enjoy life if you're not kind of like connecting with other people. We are sociable beings. We need connection to thrive, and we need it to be able to feel fulfilled. And I feel that for me, coaching really provides a platform to especially the deep level coaching that I do, to go so deep with other men and women is just so incredibly satisfying. And it fulfills an aspect of connection. We talk about the things that matter, and we deal with the stuff that really matter, which is all the kind of inner sabotages and the healings that we experience, and the growth, and the stuff that we struggle through. All those kind of things are so valuable. And having those insights, having those conversations, and the connection that gets created there, it's so incredible. And I wouldn't want to live without it, right? It definitely beats being behind a laptop doing admin or whatever else, right? Fourth point, I guess I'll do 4 and 5 together, is meaning and purpose. Running my business as a coach, really, because with coaching, you need to find your niche, you need to find your way, you need to find how you get that inner being expressed the best through serving other people, creating a platform for that. So that is essentially the roadmap to deepening your purpose, right? Understanding yourself so well, and your upbringing, and all the turning points you experience in life, and all those bunch of things that have happened to you that lead you to want to help people in a particular way, or hold space for people in a very specific way. And to me, that's essentially what the whole aspect of fulfilling purpose is about. And it gives me an immense satisfaction to be able to do so. And through purpose, I find meaning. Being able to help other people really help us elevate, really help us kind of find this deeper sense of meaning. So in that respect, nothing else can fulfill you to that extent. And even if you outgrow the way you run your business or how you serve in your business, you can always realign it. I realign stuff every year or two because I have to, because it's not meant to be static. You're not meant to be static, right? So that constant evolution and realignment is wonderful. It adapts to who you are, essentially, okay? And to me, that's again a lot simpler of a way to earn money and to earn a living, rather than working, having all these career changes, right? When you're a coach, you're not having a career change. You just realign your positioning, and you maybe bring different tools or whatever. Yes, some people do change completely, maybe do something very different to what they were doing. But the majority of the time, you just keep on shifting, realigning, and tweaking things as you shift and change, right? Where you just go deeper and deeper and refining. And within that rabbit hole, you find yourself. You expressing, and you refine your expression in that deeper, more nuanced way. And that to me is the beauty of life, and of living a life of alignment and running a business in full alignment to who you are and to your inner being. So in that respect, I absolutely think it's a no-brainer that it's a simpler way to earn money through service that feels in alignment to your inner being and to who you are in your fullness, right? And of course, the final point of self-growth, we talked about that, earlier, that as you get to find out who you are, how you need to serve, and then you need to place yourself out there to make money and to be able to get clients and to be able to connect with your soulmate clients and those who are really going to benefit the most working with you. That process, to me, is my favorite, partly because I'm a bit of a freak, and ever since I was young I was always into self-development. I've lived in Buddhist communities and meditated and even did hallucinogens when I was younger, which led me into like a decade of therapy and all sorts of bunch of stuff like that. My life has definitely been a life that's led fully by my desire for self-growth. That's deeper, that's one of my deep values and something it's really important to me. So if you're somebody who's into self-growth, you're gonna love running a business because it's gonna get you to face your shit over and over again, your hesitations, limitations, it's stuff that I work with people all the time, your limiting beliefs, your wounds, your trauma, your everything, because showing up and feeling confident to share your gifts and just face rejection over and over again, obviously not just rejection, it's going to confront you with yourself, and it should do. And we need to have a little bit of challenge, but obviously we need to have safety and comfort as well, right? So that challenge that it brings you is I feel is essential to kind of feel the vitality in life and to feel that you're not being stuck. And if you run a business, it's gonna give you that, but every time, this expression, today's ceiling is tomorrow's floor. Isn't it exciting? It's absolutely true. I see this all the time. This is how we grow, because we are being asked to get out of our comfort zone, face ourselves, and do what we need to in order to kind of like show up and be magnetic and to really have a visible space in the community so that people can see us and invest in working with us. Obviously, from everything else, that the stuff that you might not be good at tech with, or all sorts of other stuff that will come up, all that stuff is gold. These are my reasons and my point of view why I think that running a business is actually a lot simpler than doing things that feel out of alignment to who you are, who you're becoming, what you desire, what your values are, because you're working constantly with so many different agendas, right? When you work elsewhere. It's so much simpler to come back to you. Once you start getting a hang of the right business model, systems, and starting to trust in the mystery of you, the most important thing, right? Then you start to operate from a completely different level of self-trust, intuition, and really create a foundation that it's going to be very difficult to stop you from growing. Okay, so if you're a business owner, somebody new in business, somebody in the first few years who might not be kind of like, at times you find you struggle. If this resonates with you, it's so much more simple doing this while staying true to yourself. So keep on at it, keep on going, keep on facing, keep on working through the stuff that comes up. It's just a matter of time. Don't hesitate, even if you're like, I work with alignment and manifestation and all that, but trust me guys, the right business models make all the difference. I help with all that stuff. I really make it very clear for women what can be easier on their energy, but also really having goals that are maintainable, that are kind of sustainable, that are supportive to you on your journey and your personal life, and just know that it can and will get easier. So keep at it. Hope you find this useful. I'm Samaya. I'll speak to you soon.